shit. Here we go again.
Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome in once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at another really cool knife from QSP. QSP has become one of those brands where they may not be as elevated and refined as, say, Reich Knife or Riot, but they've quickly become a favorite among a lot of collectors for really cool designs, very solid builds. And whether they're making their own designs, like I'm going to show you here in the Capybara, or they're doing something of an OEM service like they do here on the EMP EDC Nimble. And I can't say for certain that they did this most recent version, but the original Nimbles, the Nimble X, and all those were all QSP knives. And what they've done is they've built this reputation for really cool knives, really good ergonomics, good build quality, good machining. But like I said, they don't take it to that extra step like Reich or Riot, where they're going off into really, really exotic stuff or really, really fancy stuff. They just make good, solid knives. And as such, they generally tend to be in a very affordable price range. Now, this is going to be one of their higher priced offerings. Here is the sticker on the end, the Capybara. This is the red, white, and blue carbon fiber inlay, which I believe might be the Camo Carbon America. I'm not entirely certain. This is a slick packaging that they use. I've complimented them on this many, many times because it's a really nice package. The way that it's all put together, the knife is very well protected, and it's a nice presentation when you first get it and open it up. It's not just, taking the lid off of a cardboard box. Yes, this is cardboard, but that sliding drawer thing is a pretty cool little display. And QSP is generally good about giving you some stickers. There are a lot of people that love to collect stickers and put stickers on stuff. And they were good about that. And they always give you a card inside which shows you the knife in the technical drawing space, so that you have an idea of what the overall dimensions are, the blade length, and things like that. Here inside is the knife that we're going to be looking at today. And I got to tell you, from the very first time I saw the images, I went, wow, that is wonderfully unique. It's really, really cool. I like how they've done this. And when you get it in hand, if you're like me and you sometimes like a smaller, chunkier, stubbier kind of knife, you're really, really going to enjoy this. Now, what I didn't expect to love were the thumb studs. I like the look of them, obviously, being made out of the same material that they're doing for the inlays, which is quite unique. But I didn't think that I'd be able to reverse flick off of it, thumb flick off of it as the way that I would want to, because I wasn't sure about the positioning and the spacing from the frame. And I'm very happy to say that it doesn't matter how I choose to open this, it feels fantastic. They did a great job, by the way, on the detent. They did a great job kind of tying everything together. So your inlay back here on the frame matched up to the pivot collar right here, and then into these uniquely shaped thumb discs, I guess you could call them, because they're not thumb studs. They're obviously not discs either because they're not shaped like a disc. They're not round. But I don't really know what you would call them when they're made in a modified shape like that. But the action is really, really nice. It's nothing ridiculous, nothing crazy, but it's got a nice, very, very smooth action, snappy detent. And for me, at least, it feels really good in the hand for the times that I'm going to want to use or carry a smaller size knife. Because keep in mind, this is only a 3-inch blade. So a lot of times that is going to be one of my many nimbles. And as you see, I'm going to put these side by side here so you can see better. They are not very far off size-wise. About maybe 1/8 of an inch or so in the overall length. And actually, if we really line it up better here, they're very, very similar in the overall length. And where the nimble is very straight-bodied and somewhat neutral on the ergonomics, the Capybara is a little softer in the hand. You've got some more organic curves going on. Nothing on this knife is really perfectly straight. So it's got a nice ergonomic feel. And just like the EMP, if I decide that I want to choke up, it's got a really usable forward finger choil in the blade. And allows me a full 3-finger grip across the titanium frame. Overall, it just really, really feels good. Now, I'm kind of breaking away from my standard way of doing videos, the structure that I've been using over the past year or so, which has been doing the TLDW, then the specs, and then the review at the end. I'm not sure that people are really appreciating the time-saving measures that I tried to put into that. So I'm just going to kind of freeball it like I used to do, like I did for, over a decade, and see if maybe this is just a better way. Stick with what you know. I don't know. We'll see. Please give me feedback down below in the comments and let me know. Do you prefer the structured videos that I've been doing over the past year, or do you prefer something a little bit more free-form like this? Let me show you another comparison on another knife that I like to carry when I'm not carrying something medium or full size that I really, really, really enjoy, and that's my Devo Knives Stout. That's been a favorite of mine for over a year. I've carried this a lot. I've cut with it a lot. I fidget with it a hell of a lot. I really, really enjoy this knife. And it's a bit odd in the way that it's shaped. It's a bit odd with the blade shape that it has, this kind of toucan look going on. But the idea generally is the same, just because it's not a, 3.5, 3 3/4, 4-inch blade knife. It's in that shorter, stubbier kind of vein. And there are just times that I like this size of knife. And for those times, I'm really, really going to appreciate having this QSP. There are definitely times I want to carry something, sorry about that, that I want to carry something much, much larger and something much, much smaller. But when I'm in that mood, this really tickles that itch. Or tickles that itch? It satisfies that itch. It tickles that, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I was trying to mix up 2 different sayings, and I don't really know why. But it satisfies that itch, that craving that you get sometimes when there's a certain feel that you want, a certain size knife, or certain utility to a shape of a blade. And I really do like the shape of this blade a lot. Nice belly, nice curvature to that edge. It's going to do a great job cutting. It's going to do a nice job in a pinch grip if I want to kind of slice down stuff. If I'm, cutting open boxes, things like that, it's going to work really, really well for me. I like the fact that you've got the multiple methods of deployment. You've got the old trusty flipper tab. I'm always going to love a flipper. And then having these, again, thumb manipulators, maybe we'll call them, because they're not discs, they're not studs, they're their own unique thing. I really dig that. If I choose to thumb flick it, I can thumb flick it. I haven't tried slow. Oh, it does slow roll. I'm surprised because that detent is so snappy that I didn't think I'd be able to without it popping out from under my thumb. or I can reverse flick. So I've got a lot of different options here on the opening method, and I really, really appreciate that. Let's take a look back here at the backspacer. It's nicely crowned. There's a little bit of jimping done in here. It's not effective jimping. It doesn't do anything for your grip really at all. It's very, very softened. And then hidden back here is going to be a lanyard post. So if you don't like lanyards, you won't have an ugly hole or slot or anything back here detracting away from the look of the knife. It's cleverly hidden back here in the backspacer. And then you've got a really nice looking pocket clip, which goes with the flow of the design when you look at the bottom scalloped edges of the frame. I think they did a nice job there. It's a nice shape. I have carried this a couple of times already, and it clips well inside of a jeans pocket. As you see, there's plenty of room there, plenty of a gap for the thicker seam of a jeans pocket. Fit in there really, really well. The lock bar tension on this is also done really nicely. So it broke in very quickly. I've still got a great detent. The detent didn't get hardly softer at all. And it's just enough tension that the blade does not guillotine down when you unlock it, but you give it a couple of shakes and it's a nice controlled, smooth closing action. I think overall QSP really knocked this one out of the park. It's going to be up to you whether you like these colors or not. It is an acquired taste, the way that this is done. I don't know that I absolutely love either choice they have. It's either the America here, the red, white, and blue, or the, I think it's called Just Chillin', which is the blue and white. And I'll pop that up on the screen here as well so you can kind of see what that looks like. And you see what your options actually are. Now, it's funny because as I'm in the middle of promoting my upcoming release of the V2 variations of the Caladan, both of those colors are colors that I'm going to be offering in my knife as well, the exact same camo carbon inlays. And I do realize that they're an acquired taste, and maybe the red, white, and blue of the America is a little bit too loud for you. Maybe the baby blue colors of the blue and white, again, I think they call it Just Chillin'. I'll have to go back and look again, and I'll put something here in the edit to let you know if I was correct or not. That may be a little bit too light of a blue for some people, or too bright of a blue. It's definitely a different look, but I think it looks good. This is not my favorite combination. I would really, and just speaking directly to QSP, should they ever come across my video, I would highly suggest a nice darker carbon fiber, more standard carbon fiber perhaps, a marbled carbon fiber, something like that. Because that'll give a nice contrast, and it's a bit more traditional in the colorations, you know, dark carbon fiber against the glass bead blasted titanium, I think is a good combination. And there are obviously some really great wilder choices that are out there, whether it be from camo carbon or fat carbon. This would look really cool with like a dark matter blue, a dark matter red, dark matter orange, lava flow perhaps, because you have a very flowing design. I could see where they wanted to have this kind of like ribbon-like pattern going through it, but the lava flow would be very similar to that as well. And of course, it's going to depend on what's available, because I know when I was planning out the V2 Caladans, I basically had selected half of the entire catalog that Camo Carbon offers, and by the time they came down to production, almost none of them were available, or available in quantity enough to make hundreds and hundreds of knives. So I do realize that there is a practical limitation to what you're able to offer your customers as well. Because, you know, it may not be 2020 anymore, maybe a few years removed from that, but material or supply shortages are still very much a thing. You can't just get everything that you want to get, and that's just the way it is. I commend QSP also on doing these pivot collars. They look really, really good. Now, you might think it's a bit too much because you've got the inlay, then you've got the pivot collar, and then you've got these. It may be a bit much, but perhaps if the inlay material were something a little bit more subtle, it would be more agreeable to you if you think this is too busy. It's kind of like a Picasso painting or something going on here in your face. But I dig it. I think it's a nice way to tie everything together. And this may be even something I turn into a project. I may decide to anodize the frame blue, kind of go to close to a blue that matches the blue in the inlay. I think would be kind of neat. That might be a good way to go as well. Just to experiment and see how things work out like that. Another design piece that I love here is the shape of the blade. The way that it drops down into the shape of the handle like this looks really good. And they maximized the blade length to handle length ratio by bringing the blade about as far out as you could without being able to snag the tip with your fingers at all. So that gives you a nice visual balance on the blade to handle ratio. So I think visually it looks great. I think ergonomically it's fantastic. It feels really, really good in the hand for the size of knife that it is. Now, if you already know that you don't like a knife that is only 7.3 ounces, 7.3 inches in overall length and only has a 3-inch blade, you already know it's not for you, then this is not for you. But for the times that you do like to carry something this size, I think that you'll like that it's a bit more rounded, that it's a little bit thicker, that it's a little bit chunkier than many of the knives in this size category, and it fills the hand nicely. I am a glove size large to extra large, depending on the brand. So I've got pretty big hands, yet this fills my hand wonderfully. It feels great. And being this size, it's not a pocket hog. It's not taking up your entire pocket when you're carrying it for the day. Not that you're going to carry anything in your pocket with your knives anyway, especially one at this price. This is $362. It doesn't quite hit that lower price point that many QSPs do. Think of like the Canary and some other knives that I brought out to you in the past year that they've offered at ridiculously low prices. In the $100 range, in the low $200 range, things like that. This is a more premium price point for them. But I feel that the quality of the knife overall does give you a bit more of a premium feel as well. So I think it's justified. Whether you can justify spending $362 on a knife like this or not is entirely up to you. But if you've got your finger hovering over the order button and you're thinking, I don't know, maybe I like the looks of it, I like the shape of it, I think it's going to work out well for me, and I love M390 as a blade steel. I think the blade finish on there looks great, but when I get it, is it going to feel like a $362 knife? I'm here to tell you that yes, it's going to have that premium feel. It's going to justify the expense in the way that it's built, in the feeling of it, even the heft of it. Now, again, heft does not equate to quality, but it's this intangible thing that a lot of times we will judge a particular product on. That could be jewelry, it could be a knife, it could be any number of different things that we buy. This is 4.55 ounces. Whenever you see 0.5, you always think it's a half, but it wouldn't be, because 16 ounces, half of that is 8, so 4.8 would be 4.5. But anyway, 4, I guess, is that how it converts? I don't know. I mean, that is a half an ounce, but I don't know if when you write it out that way, maybe 3.5 is 3.5 ounces. I guess that's the way you would do it. I don't know. See, I'm not a mathematician. I talk about knives on the friggin' internet. Anyway, so I think overall, the way that it feels, the action, the detent, everything, the lockup, the blade centering, the blade stock thickness, the heft that blade has, the feeling it has overall, There is nothing cheap feeling about it. There is nothing that says, hey, this really should have been a $200 knife, because it doesn't feel like that. It definitely feels more premium since you're making that premium jump in their price range. It's good to know that it will be validated once you open the box. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about it for now. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and I'll be back to see you soon.